Oh, Shalom, I praise you, how about Shamil, Shabbat, Shamakakadash, the bonus to the apostles, salute you, brothers, teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. And this is a quick one here. And I'm going to play this, but so this is another G20 meeting here. And you got finance ministers and banking officials and stuff like that. And a few scriptures come to mind, but clearly, man, these are, this world is coming to an end, a close, as all these world leaders scurry. They're having all these meetings. They're scurrying, running around, having all these meetings, man. So let's play.
Finance ministers from the G20 nations are meeting in Bali for a second day of talks. The global food crisis, soaring inflation, and the economic impact of the war in Ukraine are all high on the agenda. Well, Jessica Washington joins us live now from Bali. Jessica, so those finance ministers continue those meetings against the backdrop of a very gloomy economic outlook.
That's exactly right, Darren. These talks continue for a second day of meetings here in Bali, with the focus very much on what has been called a darkened economic outlook for.
What did you say? She said a darkened economic outlook. On the screen it says the G20 finance ministers and central bank chiefs. We all know what that works along with what it brings in Revelation 13. Meeting to discuss global economic crisis. So there's a global economic crisis going on here, and we all know what roads that leads down to. So just think of Revelation 13. In the end, it shall speak; it shall not lie. You know what I mean?
For some context, I want to bring in an expert. We are talking to Geetha Gopinath, the IMF's first Deputy Managing Director. Thank you so much for joining us. We've heard about the global economy going from shock to shock. The IMF set to downgrade its forecast for global growth soon. What are the main factors that concern you?
Hi, Jessica. So I would say there are three factors. The first is inflation is at record highs in many countries, and central banks appropriately are tightening monetary policy. That is, they're raising interest rates, and that by design slows growth. Second, the war in Ukraine, the impact of that, the sanctions and the counter sanctions are getting more severe. We're seeing an energy crisis, especially in Europe, but more generally a cost of living crisis around the world, and that is also impeding on growth. And third, we have China, where because of the COVID outbreaks, there are more severe shutdowns that are being put in place, and that has had an effect on economic activity. So these are, I would say, some of the main reasons for the downgrade that we will be announcing soon.
We've heard a lot of concern about this scarring effect, particularly on emerging markets, where firstly they're grappling with the pandemic and now these rising costs. What are you concerned about that as well, this scarring effect on developing economies?
So anyway, you get it. I'm not going to sit here playing all of that. This is a quick one, but I'm going to check to see what they're saying. But all this anyways by design. Because all of a sudden everything's just falling apart. Every sector on the planet is falling apart, and one of your main sectors is your economic. That's how the rule. What was the saying? Give me control over a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. So that's why, and that's why when you read Rev 13, it says that no man might buy or sell. So if he that had that, so you ain't gonna be able to be on that grid. In the back it says renewable energy and all this sustainable whatever. So all roads are leading to one thing. If everything's falling apart, you got inflation, you got something called hyperinflation, you got this, you got that. You're gonna need something new, right? And it all links up when you pull it together. This is a quick video, but you had a video with the Rothschilds years ago, Evelyn Rothschilds. He said we need to think about getting an international currency. He said that years ago on it was some kind of news station he was on, and he said he's getting old. So that's why all of a sudden we're seeing all this stuff. Just, you know, everything has a time and a season, and you know, right now you're seeing it being pushed, or they're pushing towards it. Revelation 12:12. Behold, the devil come down with great wrath, because he knows that you have, what, a short time. That's what's happening right here. And you know, pretty much you know, this new, what I call it, digital currencies. And we can go into all that, because there's so much going on with that. Everything's going to the airports, you this, you that. And that's part of how they're going to monitor people anyway. Because they want everyone monitored. Because Esau's trying to play the Most High. So if you don't get that thing, then they're gonna be like, well, you can't be on the grid. And we already done videos on how pretty much they're trying to they basically made it illegal to be off the grid out here in the UK. So you know, more will come out on that. But they've passed a couple of bills recently in the Parliament. And you know, I was just checking out Sri Lanka, and they was saying, it was the individuals were saying, the people are saying that they believe that the politics is both of the dudes in their puppets, man. And the both, it's the same coin, the same people, the same system, different sides of the coin. So they're going out there. They're outside. Hey, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, man.